welcome. Thank you for choosing to settle in and share this quiet time with me. Find a place where you can rest comfortably, perhaps letting your eyes drift closed, and allow the gentle rhythm of your own breath to guide you into stillness. My name is Silas, and my home is often the steady, soothing motion of my train, the Wanderer. It carries me across landscapes, not in search of grand sights, but for the subtle textures, the quiet corners, the gentle hum of life unfolding in different places. It's a slow way to travel, yes, but it allows the world to reveal itself softly. Aboard the Wanderer, I carry memories of journeys past the quiet dignity found amidst the historic echoes of London, the colorful tiles and gentle river breezes of Porto, the serene energy felt within the ancient palaces of Seoul. Each city offers its own unique cadence, a distinct feeling that settles deep within. Now, the familiar clickety-clack softens as the train slows, bringing me through rolling Austrian hills towards a city renowned for its quiet elegance and rich history, Vienna. I sense a change in the air, a blend of old-world grace and comforting warmth. In the chapters that follow, we will explore this city together, seeking out its soft melodies. We might linger in the warm embrace of a traditional coffee house, feeling the smooth wood of the chairs and breathing in the scent of dark coffee and pastries. We may wander through peaceful Imperial gardens, listening to the crunch of gravel underfoot and the distant murmur of the city, or find unexpected tranquility in a hidden courtyard, observing the play of light on old stone. It's these small moments, these sensory whispers, that I hope to share with you, moments that invite calm and quiet appreciation. This journey is an invitation to slow down, to notice the beauty in the understated, and to find a pocket of peace in the present moment, just as I try to do. Let the gentle narrative and the ambient sounds guide you towards relaxation, perhaps even towards sleep, as we immerse ourselves in the calming atmosphere of Vienna. If you find solace and comfort in sharing these travels, perhaps consider liking this recording or subscribing to the channel to join me as the journey unfolds further down the line. For now, though, let us begin. Let the soft melodies of Vienna welcome you. Chapter 1. Approaching the Waltz. The world outside my window softens, the sharp edges of distant mountains giving way to gentler rolling hills draped in deep green forests. The Wanderer moves with its familiar steady rhythm, a heartbeat against the rails that has become the grounding sound of my travels. Austria unfolds in quiet panoramas, neat villages tucked into valleys, the slender spires of churches pointing towards a vast, pale sky. Sunlight, filtered through the high canopy of trees lining the track, dapples the worn wooden table beside me, illuminating the grain. I watch the landscape breathe, a slow inhale and exhale of field and forest. My cup of chamomile tea sits warm between my hands, its faint floral scent mingling with the familiar aroma of aged leather and wood that permeates this carriage, my moving sanctuary. The taste is mild, soothing, a small ritual that anchors me in the present moment as the scenery shifts. I see the first hints of vineyards climbing the slopes, tidy rows basking in the afternoon light. There's a subtle change in the energy outside, a sense of drawing nearer to something older, more established, yet still holding a quiet vibrancy. Vienna. The name itself seems to carry a certain weight, a resonance of history, music, and grand boulevards. Yet I anticipate something softer, beneath the Imperial facade, a quality the Austrians call a Gemütlichkeit, a cozy intimacy, a comfortable ease. It's this quieter aspect I hope to find, the gentle undertones beneath the city's renowned classical score. My thoughts drift, not to specific plans, but to the feeling of immersing myself in a new place, letting its pace dictate my own. The train glides alongside the Danube for a stretch, the river wide and calm, reflecting the sky like a silver ribbon unwinding through the land. Small boats trace lines across its surface. There's a peacefulness to watching water flow, a reminder of constant movement, gentle yet persistent. It feels like a fitting prelude to entering a city shaped by this very river, a city that has witnessed centuries flow past its banks. I lean my head against the cool glass, feeling the subtle vibration of the journey. Inside the wanderer, everything remains constant, the soft upholstery of the armchair, the alignment of books on the small shelf, the gentle hum of the engine. This predictability is a comfort, a familiar shell that allows me to fully absorb the changing world outside. It's a space for quiet observation, for letting thoughts surface and dissolve without judgment, like clouds drifting across the sky visible through the panoramic window. The hills gradually flatten, the density of buildings increasing almost imperceptibly at first. Small industrial areas appear, then tidy suburban homes with well-kept gardens. The transition is gentle, unhurried, mirroring the pace I try to maintain in my travels. There's no rush to arrive, only the quiet appreciation of the journey itself, the slow unfolding of place and perspective. The light begins to take on a warmer, late afternoon hue. I trace the rim of my teacup with a fingertip. The anticipation I feel is mild, a soft curiosity rather than excitement. It's the feeling of turning a page in a well-loved book, eager to see what the next chapter holds, yet content to linger for a moment before continuing. What small details will catch my eye? What quiet corners will offer solace? What subtle melodies will reveal themselves in the Viennese air? The train begins to slow more noticeably now, the rhythm changing, brakes whispering their approach. Buildings become taller, closer together, their facades hinting at the architectural elegance to come. The journey through the landscape is ending, and the arrival into the city's embrace is imminent. I take a slow, deep breath, ready to step out and listen to the unique rhythm of Vienna, carrying the peace of the journey with me. Chapter 2. Hauptbahnhof, Hues. The final sigh of the brakes brings the wanderer to a gentle halt within the vast expanse of Wien Hauptbahnhof. Stepping onto the platform, I'm met not with overwhelming noise, but with a sense of organized calm. The station architecture is modern, sleek lines, wide corridors, surfaces of glass and steel, reflecting the ample light pouring in from above. Yet, the atmosphere feels efficient rather than hurried, a measured flow of people moving towards their destinations. The air carries the faint metallic scent common to large stations, mingled with the aroma of coffee from a distant kiosk. I pause for a moment, simply observing. Suitcases glide quietly across the polished floor. Announcements echo softly in German and English, the voices calm and clear. Sunlight streams through the high glass roof, creating shifting patterns of light and shadow on the floor, catching the diverse faces of travelers passing by. There's a quiet energy here, a convergence of journeys beginning and ending, all managed with an understated precision that feels distinctly Viennese. With my worn leather satchel over my shoulder, I begin to walk towards the exit signs. My footsteps make a soft sound on the smooth flooring. I notice the clean design, the clarity of the signage, the subtle integration of shops and services into the structure. It feels less like a chaotic hub and more like a carefully orchestrated gateway to the city. Even the subtle rumble of trains arriving and departing seems absorbed by the station's modern acoustics, becoming part of a low, ambient hum. Outside the station, the city air feels fresh, carrying a hint of coolness despite the afternoon sun. I find the tram stop easily. Waiting passengers stand patiently. Conversations are kept low. There's an absence of hurriedness that I appreciate. The tram arrives smoothly, its doors gliding open with a soft hiss. I find a seat by the window, settling in as we begin to move away from the station's immediate orbit. The journey through the outer districts begins. The architecture shifts gradually. Modern blocks give way to older buildings, their facades showing more ornamentation, hints of the grandeur to come. I watch the city unfold like a series of quiet scenes. A small park where sunlight filters through leafy trees, a neighborhood bakery with pastries displayed in the window, people walking dogs along wide pavements. The tram moves at a steady, unhurried pace, allowing time to absorb these glimpses of Viennese life. Each district seems to have its own subtle character. Some streets are lined with imposing apartment blocks from the late 19th century. Others feel more village-like, with lower buildings and small independent shops. I notice the details, the intricate ironwork on balconies, the soft colors of painted facades, the green trams gliding past in the opposite direction. It's a gentle introduction. Observing the city's layers reveal themselves from the quiet vantage point of my window seat. My destination is a quieter neighborhood away from the main tourist thoroughfares. As the tram carries me closer, the streets become narrower, greener. Trees arch over the pavements, their leaves rustling in a gentle breeze. The buildings feel more intimate, their doorways hinting at peaceful inner courtyards. I feel a sense of anticipation, looking forward to finding my temporary haven within this calmer part of the city. The quality of light seems softer here, filtered through the leaves and reflecting off the pastel-colored walls. The tram slows, and the automated voice announces my stop. I gather my satchel, murmuring a quiet danke as I step off onto the pavement. The air here feels stiller, the sounds more muted, the distant chime of a church bell, the soft chatter from an outdoor cafe table down the street, the rustle of leaves overhead. I take a moment to orient myself, consulting the simple map I'd sketched in my notebook, feeling the quiet promise of settling in begin to bloom. Vienna is already starting to whisper its softer melodies. Chapter 3, an Altbau haven. Following the quiet map in my notebook, I find the building easily. It's a classic Viennese Altbau, its pale yellow facade showing the gentle patina of age, ornate moldings framing the tall windows. The heavy wooden entrance door opens into a cool tiled hallway. My footsteps echo softly as I ascend the wide, gracefully curving staircase, my hand gliding over the smooth, dark wood of the banister. There's a sense of solidity, of history held within these walls. A quiet welcome. The apartment door unlocks with a satisfying click. Inside, the space immediately feels calming. High ceilings soar overhead, enhancing the sense of airiness. Sunlight streams through tall, double-glazed windows, illuminating the polished herringbone parquet floor in warm patches. The main room overlooks a peaceful side street, lined with similar buildings and leafy trees. From another window, I glimpse an innenhof, a shared inner courtyard, green and quiet below. I set down my satchel and walk slowly through the rooms. The furniture is simple but comfortable. A sturdy wooden table, a plush armchair covered in soft, neutral fabric, a bookshelf waiting to be filled. The walls are painted a soft cream, adding to the bright, tranquil atmosphere. It feels lived in, cared for, yet uncluttered, a perfect space to simply be. I run my hand over the smooth, cool surface of the wooden desk placed near the window, imagining myself sitting here writing or sketching. Unpacking becomes a slow, deliberate ritual. I place my notebook and pen on the desk, arrange a few familiar books on the shelf, hang my jacket in the tall wardrobe. Each small action feels like weaving my own quiet presence into the fabric of the space. It's the simple act of making a temporary place feel like home, even if just for a short while. The apartment seems to accept these small additions readily, its peaceful atmosphere undisturbed. I open one of the large windows overlooking the street. The sounds that drift in are gentle, muted. The distant melodic ring of a tram bell, the low murmur of conversation from pedestrians passing below, the rhythmic cooing of pigeons somewhere nearby, the rustle of leaves from the trees lining the pavement. It's the quiet soundtrack of a residential Viennese neighborhood, a soothing backdrop that feels miles away from the city's bustling center. The air carries the faint scent of blossoming flowers from a window box across the way. Later, I explore the small kitchen, finding simple white crockery neatly stacked, a small coffee maker ready for use. Everything is clean, functional, unassuming. I fill the kettle and set it to boil, the familiar soft click as I press the switch, adding another layer to the apartment's quiet soundscape. Waiting for the water to heat, I stand by the window again, looking down into the innenhof. Someone is watering plants on a balcony below, the movement slow and unhurried. It's a glimpse into the everyday rhythm of the building. With a warm cup of tea cradled in my hands, I settle into the armchair. The fabric is soft beneath my fingertips. The late afternoon light fills the room, casting long shadows. I feel a sense of contentment wash over me, a quiet gratitude for finding such a peaceful haven. There is no pressure to rush out and explore immediately. The city can wait. For now, it feels right to simply sit, to breathe, to absorb the stillness of this space. This apartment, with its high ceilings and gentle light, feels like more than just temporary lodging. It feels like a breathing space, a place to process the journey so far and gather energy for the quiet explorations to come. The subtle creak of the floorboards underfoot, the way the light changes on the walls, the distant sounds of the neighborhood, these details create a sense of place, a temporary anchor in the vastness of Vienna. I take another slow sip of tea, feeling myself settle deeper into the calm. Chapter 4. Coffeehouse Cadence. The aroma draws me in before I even cross the threshold, a rich blend of dark roasted coffee, warm pastries, and something less definable, perhaps the scent of old wood and time itself. I push open the heavy glass-paned door of the traditional Viennese coffeehouse and step inside. The immediate impression is one of hushed reverence and comforting warmth. Dark wood panels line the walls, reflecting the soft glow from ornate shaded lamps. The air hums with a low murmur of conversation, the gentle clink of porcelain cups, the rustle of newspaper pages. I choose a small table in a corner, settling onto a plush velvet banquette. The upholstery is slightly worn, hinting at countless patrons who have sat here before me seeking warmth, conversation, or simply a quiet moment. Marble-topped tables gleam softly under the subdued lighting. A waiter, distinguished in a black vest and white apron, approaches silently, placing a small glass of water on the table with practiced grace, a signature touch of the Viennese coffee house ritual. His movements are unhurried, professional yet welcoming. I order a Wiener Melange, the classic Viennese coffee topped with frothy milk. While I wait, I simply observe. An elderly gentleman nearby meticulously reads a newspaper mounted on a traditional wooden holder. Two women chat quietly, their heads close together. A young student sits alone, gazing thoughtfully out the window. There's an atmosphere of quiet contemplation, a space where time seems to slow its pace, allowing room for thought and observation. The melange arrives in a heavy porcelain cup, the creamy foam inviting. The waiter places it down gently, along with a small silver spoon resting on the saucer. I lift the cup, feeling its warmth seep into my hands. The first sip is smooth, comforting, the bitterness of the coffee perfectly balanced by the steamed milk. I savor the taste, letting the warmth spread through me. It feels like more than just a beverage. It's an intrinsic part of the experience, a central note in the coffeehouse cadence. Outside the large windows, the city continues its rhythm, but here, inside, a different tempo prevails. It's a place designed for lingering. There's no sense of needing to rush, no pressure to vacate the table. The waiters move with quiet efficiency, refilling water glasses, clearing tables discreetly, maintaining the calm atmosphere. I notice the small details, the intricate pattern on the sugar dispenser, the slightly faded elegance of the wallpaper, the way light catches the polished surface of the coffee machine behind the counter. I pull out my small notebook and pen, not necessarily to write, but just to have them near. Sometimes the simple act of holding familiar objects is grounding. I might sketch the curve of the lampshade or the pattern on the tiled floor, capturing a small detail of this timeless space. Or perhaps I just sit, letting my gaze wander, absorbing the atmosphere, feeling the gentle pulse of this unique Viennese institution. It's a place that encourages stillness, reflection. The sounds blend into a soothing background symphony. The soft hiss of the espresso machine, the low hum of voices speaking German, the occasional turning of a newspaper page, the delicate clink of spoon against cup. It's a melody of quiet activity, comforting and unobtrusive. I understand why these coffee houses have historically been hubs for writers, artists, and thinkers. They offer a haven, a space suspended between public and private, conducive to contemplation. Finishing my coffee, I linger for a while longer, simply breathing in the atmosphere. The feeling is one of profound calm, a sense of being held within a tradition much larger than myself. Leaving the warmth of the coffee house and stepping back onto the pavement feels like emerging from a quiet interlude. I carry the comforting aroma and the gentle rhythm of the place with me, a soft melody resonating from this quintessential Viennese experience. Chapter 5. Naschmarkt. Stillness. It's early morning when I arrive at the Naschmarkt, hoping to catch it before the full bustle begins. The air is cool and fresh, carrying a complex blend of scents, earthy vegetables, sweet fruit, exotic spices, fresh bread, and the faint brininess of the unseen sea from the fish stalls further down. The long market thoroughfare stretches ahead, lined with stalls on either side, many still in the process of arranging their colorful displays. There's a quieter energy now, a sense of preparation, of the market slowly waking up. I begin to walk slowly, deliberately keeping my pace unhurried. My focus isn't on finding anything specific, but on observing the details. A pyramid of deep purple figs glistening slightly, barrels overflowing with olives of every shade, from pale green to near black, mountains of spices, saffron threads like fine gold, paprika in fiery mounds, star anise in intricate shapes. The colors are vibrant, a feast for the eyes, even in the soft morning light. Vendors arrange their produce with care, polishing apples until they gleam, misting fresh herbs, stacking cheeses with practiced hands. Their movements are efficient, but not rushed. I hear snippets of conversation in German, friendly greetings exchanged between neighboring stallholders. There's a quiet camaraderie in the air, the shared rhythm of starting the market day. I offer gentle nods to those I pass, receiving quiet smiles in return. I pause at a stall selling dried fruits and nuts. Dates are piled high, sticky and dark. Apricots glow like small suns. Walnuts rest in their intricate shells. The textures are as varied as the colors, smooth skins, rough shells, crystallized sugars. I inhale the sweet concentrated scent. I don't need to buy anything. The simple act of observing, of appreciating the natural beauty and abundance feels like enough. Further along, flower stalls add another layer of color and fragrance. Tight buds promise future blooms, while open roses release their delicate perfume. Bunches of lavender hang upside down, their calming scent mingling with the sharper notes of eucalyptus. Seeing this splash of softness amidst the bustling food stalls feels like finding a quiet grace note in the market's symphony. I linger for a moment, watching a vendor carefully wrap a bouquet in simple brown paper. The sounds are beginning to build slightly as more shoppers arrive, but it's still relatively peaceful. The dominant sounds are the vendors' calls. Now a little louder, the rustle of paper bags, the clatter of weights on scales. Yet, beneath it all, there's a fundamental stillness I can tap into by focusing on the details, the intricate pattern on a ceramic bowl filled with olives, the way sunlight catches the condensation on a bottle of freshly pressed juice, the varied shapes of bread loaves at a bakery stall. I find a small stand selling freshly squeezed pomegranate juice. The deep ruby color is intense. I decide to try a small cup. The vendor presses the fruit right there, the machine whirring briefly. He hands me the cup, the juice cool in my hand. I find a quiet spot near the edge of the market pathway to sip it. The taste is sharp, sweet, and refreshing, a burst of flavor that awakens the senses just gently. Watching the market life unfold from this small remove feels peaceful. As the morning progresses, the market undoubtedly becomes more vibrant, more crowded. But this early exploration, finding the stillness within the nascent energy, feels complete. I've absorbed the colors, the scents, the textures, the quiet human interactions that form the market's foundation. Carrying the sweet tang of pomegranate on my tongue, I walk towards the exit, feeling nourished by the simple act of mindful observation amidst the Naschmarkt's awakening abundance. Chapter 6. Imperial Gardens, Quiet Steps. Stepping through the wrought iron gates into the Volksgarten feels like entering a different realm. The sounds of the city, though still audible as a distant hum, recede, replaced by the gentle crunch of gravel underfoot and the whisper of wind through leaves. The garden unfolds with a sense of formal elegance, meticulously planned flower beds bursting with color. Even now, late-season roses offer their muted beauty, clipped hedges defining pathways, and grand old trees standing like silent witnesses to history. I choose a path that seems less traveled, meandering away from the main thoroughfares. The air here feels cooler, shaded by the dense canopy of leaves overhead. Sunlight filters through, creating dappled patterns on the ground, shifting and changing with the breeze. I walk slowly, consciously relaxing my shoulders, letting the peaceful atmosphere seep in. My gaze drifts across the landscape, the smooth expanse of lawn, the intricate details of a stone bench, the weathered surface of a classical statue half hidden in an alcove. Finding a secluded bench beneath a large, spreading chestnut tree, I sit. The wood is cool beneath my hands. From here, I can observe the garden without feeling observed myself. A few people stroll past on the main path, their footsteps soft on the gravel, their voices low. A gardener tends to a rose bush nearby, snipping away faded blooms with quiet concentration. Birds flit between branches overhead, their calls clear and distinct in the relative quiet. I let my thoughts drift, prompted by the surroundings. These gardens have seen emperors walk these paths, witnessed grand ceremonies and quiet moments of reflection for generations. There's a palpable sense of history held within the rustling leaves and the ancient stones. Yet, nature persists, constantly renewing itself, clothing the imperial structures in soft green, reminding me of the gentle, enduring power of the natural world, even within a meticulously planned human creation. Near the center of the garden stands the Theseus Temple, a smaller replica of the Athenian original, its white columns stark against the greenery. I approach it slowly, appreciating its simple, classical lines. Inside, it's cool and shadowy, the sounds from the garden muffled. Standing within its quiet embrace offers a different perspective, looking out at the framed views of lawn and trees. It's a moment of stillness within stillness. Later, I wandered toward the Hauptbahnhof in the adjacent Burgarten. This magnificent Art Nouveau glass house, with its soaring curves of steel and glass, holds a different kind of peace. Inside, amidst the tropical plants, the air is warm and humid, filled with the scent of damp earth and exotic blossoms. Sunlight streams through the glass roof, creating a bright, almost ethereal atmosphere. Finding a bench here feels like stepping into another climate, another world, yet still held within the heart of Vienna. The simple act of sitting quietly on a bench, feeling the warmth of the sun or the coolness of the shade, listening to the sounds of nature mingling with the distant city, becomes a form of meditation. It requires nothing but presence. I notice the intricate veins on a fallen leaf at my feet, the way a spider has spun a delicate web between the bars of the bench, the slow drift of clouds across the patch of sky visible through the trees. These small details anchor me in the moment. As the afternoon wears on, the light softens, casting longer shadows across the lawns. It feels time to leave, but I carry the tranquility of the gardens with me, the feeling of spaciousness, the gentle sounds, the connection to history and nature. It's a reminder that peace can often be found just a few steps away from the city's hustle, within these carefully tended green oases. My own steps feel lighter as I walk back toward the gates, the quiet rhythm of the garden echoing within me. Chapter 7. Echoes of Mozart Street Serenade. I wander through the Innenstadt, the historic heart of Vienna, letting my feet guide me along the narrower, quieter streets that branch off from the grander avenues. Cobblestones, worn smooth by centuries of footsteps, create an uneven but comforting surface beneath my shoes. The buildings rise tall on either side, their ornate facades a tapestry of Baroque details, Gothic arches, and elegant balconies. Sunlight struggles to reach the ground level in some places, creating pockets of cool shadow. The air is filled with the low hum of the city, but here, away from the main squares, it's more subdued. I hear the echo of my own footsteps, the distant chime of a clock tower, snippets of conversation drifting from open windows above. I'm not searching for anything in particular, simply absorbing the atmosphere, letting the history seep in through the pores of the old stones. I notice the small details: a beautifully carved wooden door, an intricate wrought iron shop sign, a tiny patch of moss growing in the crevice of a wall. Turning a corner onto a small, quiet square, perhaps Bahnhof, with its mix of architectural styles, I hear it. A soft melody, clear and pure, floats on the air. It's the sound of a classical guitar, played with skill and sensitivity. I stop, leaning against the cool stone wall of a nearby building, and listen. A lone musician sits on a simple folding stool near a fountain, his head bowed slightly over his instrument, fingers dancing effortlessly over the strings. The music isn't loud or intrusive. It feels like a natural part of the square's atmosphere, weaving itself between the historical buildings. Perhaps it's a piece by Mozart or something equally evocative of Vienna's musical soul. The notes seem to resonate in the enclosed space, echoing gently off the facades, creating a moment of unexpected beauty. A few other passers-by have also paused, standing quietly, absorbed in the sound. No one applauds loudly. There's just a shared, silent appreciation. I watch the musician's hands, fascinated by the precision and grace of his movements. His eyes are closed, lost in the music he's creating. The guitar itself looks well loved, its wood polished smooth from years of playing. The melody rises and falls, sometimes melancholic, sometimes hopeful, always gentle. It feels like a private performance offered freely to the ancient stones and anyone fortunate enough to be passing by at this moment. The experience transcends simple listening. It becomes about feeling the connection between the music, the place, and the history. This city has echoed with music for centuries, from grand concert halls to intimate salons. And now, here in this quiet square, the tradition continues in this simple, unadorned way. It's a reminder that beauty often resides in these spontaneous, unassuming moments. I feel a sense of quiet gratitude for stumbling upon this street serenade. As the musician finishes the piece, a soft silence hangs in the air for a beat before the gentle sounds of the square filter back in. He opens his eyes, nods subtly to his small, transient audience, and begins to play another piece, equally soft and intricate. I stay for a little while longer, letting melodies wash over me, feeling the calm deepen within. The music seems to polish the rough edges of the day, leaving behind a sense of peace. Eventually, I move on, continuing my wanderings, but the sound of the guitar lingers in my mind, a soft echo accompanying my steps. It feels like I've heard one of Vienna's true soft melodies, not in a concert hall, but here, offered freely under the open sky, a fleeting gift woven into the fabric of the old city. The memory adds another layer to my appreciation of Vienna, a city that reveals its soul not just in grandeur, but in these quiet, artistic whispers. Chapter 8. Danube, Drifting. Seeking a different perspective, a connection to the water that defines Vienna, I find myself walking along the promenade of the Donau Canal. This urban canal, a regulated arm of the mighty Danube, flows closer to the city center. Its banks a curious blend of nature and urban life. The water moves slowly, its surface reflecting the buildings that line the opposite bank and the vast expanse of the sky above. The color is a deep, murky green, holding secrets beneath its calm surface. The air here carries a different quality, a slight dampness, the scent of water and vegetation mixed with the underlying hum of the city. I walk along the wide pathway, my pace slow and measured. Joggers pass by occasionally, their breathing rhythmic. Couples stroll hand in hand, but mostly it feels spacious and relatively quiet compared to the bustling streets just a block or two away. The sound of the water lapping gently against the stone embankment is a constant soothing presence. The walls lining the canal are a canvas for colorful graffiti art. Some are intricate murals, others simple tags, layers upon layers creating a vibrant, ever-changing tapestry. It's a stark contrast to the imperial elegance found elsewhere in the city, yet it feels like an authentic expression of Vienna's contemporary pulse. I pause occasionally to look more closely at a particular piece, appreciating the boldness of the colors and the energy captured in the spray paint. I find a simple metal bench facing the water and sit down. From here, I can watch the slow drift of life on and along the canal. A long, low tour boat glides silently past, its passengers looking out at the banks. A pair of ducks paddles idly near the edge, leaving faint V-shaped ripples in their wake. On the opposite bank, people sit at outdoor cafes, their conversations too distant to hear, creating small pockets of social energy against the backdrop of the flowing water. A gentle breeze comes off the canal, cool against my skin. It rustles the leaves of the trees planted along the promenade, adding another layer to the soundscape. I close my eyes for a moment, simply listening. The water, the breeze, the distant traffic, hum, the cry of a seagull wheeling overhead. It's a complex urban symphony, yet sitting here by the water, it feels strangely peaceful, the constant flow somehow calming the mind. Thinking about the Danube itself, the main river flowing further out, connects me to a sense of broader journeys. This canal is just a small offshoot, yet it carries the essence of that great European waterway, a conduit for travel, trade, and history for millennia. Sitting here feels like tapping into that long continuum, a quiet moment of reflection on movement, change, and the connections that rivers forge between places and people. As the afternoon begins to fade, the quality of light changes. The sun dips lower, casting a warmer glow on the buildings across the water, their reflections shimmering and elongating on the canal's surface. The first city lights begin to twinkle on, pinpricks of brightness against the deepening blue of the sky. The transition from day to evening feels particularly gentle here by the water, marked by shifting light and color rather than abrupt changes. Reluctantly, I rise from the bench. The peaceful rhythm of the canal, the slow drift of the water, has settled something within me. It's a different kind of Viennese melody, less about music, more about the steady, quiet pulse of life alongside the water. As I walk away from the promenade back toward the city streets, I carry the image of the flowing water and the shimmering reflections with me, a calming counterpoint to the structured elegance of Vienna's heart. Chapter 9. Courtyard Farewell. The time has come to gather my few belongings, the quiet signal that my stay in this peaceful Viennese haven is drawing to a close. Back in the Altbau apartment, the late afternoon sun streams through the tall windows, illuminating dust motes dancing in the air. The parquet floor glows warmly. I move slowly, deliberately, folding clothes, placing my notebook and pen carefully into my worn leather satchel. The familiar actions feel grounding, a gentle ritual of departure. Packing is never just a physical task, it's also a mental gathering of impressions. As I fold a shirt, I recall the feeling of the velvet banquette in the coffee house. Placing my camera in its bag, I see again the vibrant colors of the Naschmarkt spices. Closing my notebook, I hear the faint echo of this street musician's guitar in the quiet square. Vienna has offered its gentle experiences, its soft melodies, and they have settled within me, quiet layers of memory. Before closing the satchel, I walk to the window overlooking the Innenhof. The courtyard below is quiet, bathed in the soft light of late afternoon. Pots of geraniums add splashes of color to iron balconies. A bicycle leans against a wall. The sounds are muted. The distant clatter of dishes from an open kitchen window, the soft cooing of pigeons settling on the roof opposite. It feels like the building's quiet, hidden heart, a space of shared tranquility. I stand there for several minutes, simply absorbing this last view. I think about the feeling Vienna has imparted, a sense of understated elegance, a comfortable rhythm, Gemütlichkeit, a deep respect for history and culture that lives alongside the everyday. It's not a city that shouts its virtues, but rather whispers them in the curve of a building, the aroma from a bakery, the quiet dedication of a musician, the peaceful expanse of a garden. I take a final walk through the apartment, my footsteps echoing slightly in the now emptier space. I run my hand one last time over the smooth, cool wood of the desk where I sat, over the soft fabric of the armchair. The apartment has been a true haven, a peaceful shell that allowed me to explore outwards and return inwards. I feel a quiet gratitude for the comfort and stillness it provided during my stay. Picking up my satchel, the familiar weight feels reassuring. It holds not just my physical possessions, but the intangible essence of places visited, experiences absorbed. Leaving the apartment, locking the door behind me with a soft click, feels like closing a chapter, gentle and without regret. The wide staircase curves downwards, the cool air of the hallway embracing me one last time before I step out onto the quiet street. Outside, the evening air is settling. The sky is deepening towards dusk. The streetlights cast a soft, warm glow on the pavement. I take a moment, looking back at the building, fixing its pale yellow facade and tall windows in my memory. There's a slight pang of melancholy, the inevitable companion of leaving the place where one has found peace, but it's gentle, overshadowed by a sense of fullness. Heading towards the tram stop that will begin my journey back to the Wanderer, my steps are unhurried. I carry Vienna with me, not as a collection of sights checked off a list, but as a feeling, a resonance. The soft melodies linger the clink of coffee cups, the rustle of leaves in Imperial gardens, the notes of a lone guitar, the gentle lapping of canal water. It's a quiet composition, one that will continue to play softly in my memory as the journey unfolds. Chapter 10. Westbound Resonance. The familiar gentle rocking motion of the wanderer begins almost imperceptibly as we pull away from the station. Through the large window of my carriage, the lights of Vienna begin to slide past. First the bright platforms, then the station buildings, and finally the cityscape itself, gradually receding into a tapestry of twinkling lights against the deepening night sky. There's a unique beauty in watching a city fade into the distance from the quiet cocoon of a train. I settle back into my familiar armchair, the soft upholstery a welcome comfort. The rhythmic clickety-clack of the wheels on the tracks resumes its steady beat, a sound that has become synonymous with home, with peace, with the gentle unfolding of the journey. It's a soothing mantra, overlaying the quiet hum of the engine, creating a constant soundscape that lulls the mind and encourages reflection. The warm, low light inside the carriage feels soft on my eyes after the city lights. My worn leather satchel rests on the seat beside me. I don't feel the need to unpack it immediately, nor to write or read. For now, it feels right to simply sit, to gaze out at the passing darkness punctuated by occasional lights from towns or isolated houses, and to let the essence of Vienna resonate. The city's soft melodies, its quiet elegance, its comforting Gemütlichkeit, these feelings linger, not as sharp memories, but as a gentle afterglow. I think back to the quiet corners I discovered, the peaceful bench in the Volksgarten, the hushed atmosphere of the traditional coffee house, the surprising stillness found along the Donaukanal's edge, the hidden tranquility of the Innenhof. These moments of quietude feel like the true souvenirs I carry away with me, more valuable than any physical object. They are reminders of the possibility of finding peace amidst the rhythms of urban life. The train picks up speed, moving steadily westward now, carrying me towards unknown landscapes and future destinations. Yet, the transition feels seamless, natural. The Wanderer is more than just transport. It is the connecting thread, the constant in my travels. Returning to its familiar embrace, the scent of wood and old books, the gentle sway, the predictable comfort provides a sense of continuity, allowing the experiences of one place to gently settle before anticipating the next. I retrieve my small notebook from the satchel, its pages filled with sketches and observations from Vienna. Flipping through them slowly under the soft lamplight, I pause at a quick drawing of the street musician's guitar, another of the intricate pattern on a coffee cup. These small visual anchors help solidify the sensory memories. Perhaps I write down a single phrase, Soft Melodies. It seems to capture the essence of my time there. Outside, the darkness is almost complete, the window reflecting the warm interior of the carriage more than the landscape rushing past. It creates a sense of being enclosed in a safe, warm bubble, moving through the night. This feeling of secure transit is deeply relaxing, conducive to rest and quiet contemplation. The steady rhythm of the train acts like a gentle lullaby. Closing my eyes, I let the sounds and the motions soothe me. The resonance of Vienna fades into the background, becoming part of the larger tapestry of my travels, joining the echoes of London, Porto, and Seoul. Gratitude fills me for the journey itself, for the quiet beauty found, for the peace discovered along the way, and for this moving sanctuary, the wanderer, faithfully carrying me onward, its gentle rhythm a promise of continued exploration and quiet discovery yet to come.